Okay, welcome back to the channel, Hobby One Kenobi. I have a few announcements. You might notice that the video quality is going to be better here on out on our videos. I've since found the settings for the video on my iPhone, so we should have much better video quality from here on out. And also, I got some new lighting, so I hope everything looks much improved. I'm very pleased with the look so far. So, all right, let's continue on the vehicle. As you can see, we've done quite a bit of work here. This is the G.P.A. Jeep from Tamiya, 35th scale. A couple of things that I added looking at the walk-around photos. I added this this tie-down. It looks like a tie-down. I'm sure that's used for other things. But we placed that in front, made out of plastic. As you can see here, I have some putty in the seams. And also decided to completely redo the back seat with the cushions. Looking at the photos, this cushion that they provide is not actually accurate. It should be in 3 parts. So what I did was, using plastic, constructed a new seat. There should be a rail in front here, and then straps to hold down the seat cushions, which I have made here. And let's see, this is the front of the seat cushion. The tape is starting to come up a little bit. I may have to glue that, but you can see here's the seat cushion, and they'll lay just like so. Let's go ahead and place them all down. There's a slight space between them, so I was trying to replicate as much of the actual vehicle with these cushions. Okay, there are straps along here, and the straps actually read life preserver because these are life preservers in the cushions. I should say they're life preservers acting as cushions. And these straps are accurate to the vehicle. And you notice here there's a seam on the cushion. And that I replicated by, as you can see here, they're gray. So I used the Tamiya primer, which I might do a whole video on at some point because I absolutely love that product. And before I added the tape, I primed them once quickly and then added tape. See if I can focus. A piece of tape all around the seat, and then added 2 thick layers, or sprayed on 2 thick layers of primer. After that dried, I peeled the tape off, and it left this ridge, which is what I was going for, to make it look like the seam around a cushion, which again is replicating the actual seat cushion in the actual vehicle. Okay. As I mentioned in a previous video, I would be using brass for these, I'm guessing rails of some sort, or again, more tie downs. So I've added those as well. It took a while to get the angle just right. I think this one might have been my 3rd try and 4th try here. And a few other details. Let me take these off carefully since I haven't glued them down yet. I will glue them soon. There's no reason to really wait on this. You can see more putty here. Again, this is the perfect plastic putty, which I'll talk about in just a moment. Water soluble, so once these are, well, they're actually dry now, so at some point I'm going to take a Q-tip, a slightly moistened Q-tip, and rub it and remove all the excess except where it's filled in the seam. There were some very large gaps between these struts and the hull. So I decided to fix that. Otherwise, I don't think a whole lot's really happened. All right, so let's, oh, yes, I wanted to talk about this too. I got the Archer Ford G.P.A. Jeep instruments and placards. These are transfers. They're no longer being produced by Archer, but you can find them all over the place on eBay for reasonable prices. So I got the actual ones that will go on to the console here. Okay, we'll spend time on a future video on that. And Also, I believe it was my first or second video, I talked about how we have these throttles. And I said, you know, if somebody was interested, this would be a great opportunity to scratch build new ones, because they actually are, they said the pole that they're on should be cylindrical, and these are flat, probably just because it's easier to make flat pieces than as round pieces. And then they went ahead and tried to produce a spherical shape for the actual knob. I decided, and this is very typical of the way I build, at some point I'd say, well, I could do better, and I made some new throttles. All right, so I have made quite a few of them. As you can see here, I'm only going to make, I only need 4. 1, 2, here, 3, 4. This one I'm going to leave. Its thickness is actually correct, but the others, I wanted to make new ones. So I made, how many did I make here? 8? 9. I knew what would happen is I would end up with the way that I make them, slightly different size bulbs or knobs. So I decided let's just make a bunch of them. They're very easy to make, and then at some point I'll then figure out which ones I actually want to use. But yeah, basically what I did was I took, I think it was 4.5, sorry, excuse me, 0.45 millimeter brass rod. And then at the top for the knob, I used white glue, dipped the brass rod in the white glue, and set it down. It starts to leave this one drop at the top, and the drop turns into a spherical shape. Sometimes you have to do, you let it dry and then you do it again, and it gets even larger and even thicker. So I was able to, I think these were 2 drops. It resulted in this size of knob. So, and then as you can see, I primed them again with the Tamiya primer, which again I absolutely love. Highly recommend it. There we go. So at some point, I'm going to clip off the original kit provided ones. I'm going to leave the base, but then clip them off, and then very carefully either drill holes into the bases and then glue these and connect them on, or just let them stand free on the base, which, as you can imagine, would be much more fragile. It depends on what stage I'm in. If I get the whole control panel up at the front going, then I still haven't squared it in my mind, so I'm still not sure what I'm going to do. I really feel like it's best if I can find a way to drill the holes with a bend vise. So anyway, that's where we're at. You can see again more putty. There were some very large seams here and here. Let's take a second to talk about this putty. There are 2 types of putty that I typically use. The Tamiya putty, this is solvent based, and this black one is perfect plastic putty. It's a great product. I've been using it for about a year now, 2 years. Really enjoy it. Like it says, low shrinkage, creates invisible seams. This is what we expect putty to do, but it's water soluble. So you can apply really as much on the seam as you need, and then you can, at that moment, remove a bunch of it, or you can let it dry, and then take a toothpick, or excuse me, not a toothpick, a Q-tip, moisten it, and then rub on the surface, and it'll leave the rest in the seam. And this is useful for a lot of aspects of seam work. Okay, I think that's all I have to show for today. So thanks for following. Please hit subscribe, and I hope you're enjoying the videos. And I'm always trying to improve, and very excited to have this new lighting setup and new camera setting. At some point, I'm looking to get a more high-end camera, but we'll see. I think this will work for a while now. All right, thanks again for joining. Bye.